Man, things this morning might have changed in a big way. You are maybe at the beginning of what could be a massive change in Nashville real estate. I'm a little bit giddy, feeling a little bit silly. Haven't felt this excited in probably since rates hit low to mid sixes last year. There was this time where things really kind of like took off for a minute. But when big changes happen, you don't know it until you look back. And I think we might be at the beginning of prices skyrocketing in Nashville. What does that mean? That means we have been seeing really, really steady, um, almost stagnant, sort of steady pace growth in prices in Davidson Williamson County over the last few months. That's what we saw. I've got some notes here I want to share with you so that you know what's going on. And so that if you are on the fence about buying or selling, we're in this unique moment, maybe as of this morning, where things are really shifting. And 6 months from now, people look back and go, man, I wish I would have done something 6 months ago. And that news may be similar, probably more so for buyers, but also for sellers right now. So I want to get into that. First, I want to talk about what has changed since last month. I feel like we've been in sort of this sort of neutral, very slow movement growth in the market. What has changed? Number one is buyer behavior. Spring has sprung in Nashville real estate. Last year, the market didn't pop in the spring. It was a little flat, a little disappointing. This year, I feel like it has sprung early. Usually it's, first part of March to mid-March, but even April is you usually see a little bit of delay. And then first week of April, man, you see a lot of listings, a lot of activity. Things have changed. This year, spring has sprung. It has popped early. It was like mid-February to here we are. It's March 8th. So mid-February to March 8th. A lot of homes that were sitting on the market even for 6 months in all price ranges from 300,000 to 6 million, we're seeing go under contract. We're seeing our own clients that are making moves. And so the first thing that has changed since last month is simply buyer behavior. Why that is, we could speculate all day long. I don't know if people are just sick of sitting around and want to go do something. We've had some really warm days in February. Maybe people are like, hey, I want to get outside. I want to go spend some money and buy a new home or sell a home. I don't know. But that has changed buyer behavior. The second thing is prices are steadily increasing. They have gone from sort of stagnated a little bit to they are now steadily increasing, anywhere from say 3 to 5% year over year. So I feel like that's steady growth. We want to see that. The other thing, and the reason that you might be watching this video is that prices could be soaring, and that is because unemployment this morning, news was just released about 30 minutes ago, about an hour ago, that the unemployment rate has increased to 3.9%. So it's bad news for the job market, but that's good news for the real estate market because of how unemployment impacts bonds and mortgage rates and all that. So the Fed may have hit a ceiling. Certainly, that's what they're communicating in mortgage rates. Now, as of this morning, you see unemployment going in the direction that the Fed wants it to go, which would point to a likelihood of lowering mortgage rates. So, that is massive news. Spring has sprung early. Buyer behavior is changing. We get this news that's going to impact mortgage rates in a positive direction, meaning they're going to go down slightly. They should. And so all this points to sort of this moment in time that I think 6 months from now could be, we look back and go, that was it. That's when the market shifted. And so if you're on the fence, if you have been thinking about, it's really interesting. If you've been thinking about, it's interesting because not always is there's this time where it makes sense for both buyers and sellers to be active. But let me explain why that might be the case today. For sellers that have been on the fence, and I've had plenty of conversations, people say, should I hold off? I've had conversations with people that own investment property, and have said over the last few months, if you don't need the money and it's not much hassle, go ahead and hold on to that investment property. Well, here we are, where the news is what it is, and I think it could make sense to get in early for from an influx, basically to get ahead of future listing inventory. Because as soon as prices start going up and the market starts coming back, a lot of sellers that have been on the fence are going to enter the market. You're going to have more competition. So I feel like for a seller today, uh, right now, could be a moment in time where it makes sense to get ahead of that, because sellers tend to react to the market. There's a longer lag period, whereas buyers that have been in the market are sort of ready to go. And when interest rates tick down 0.25%, sometimes 0.5%, like it changes this weekend. So it could be a moment in time for March. I think March is going to be a huge month, even though you have spring break and sort of like you kind of lose a week, but still, I think March is going to be huge. If we get news on Tuesday, inflation report is coming out. If we get news that the inflation, it's going to be a big day Tuesday. If the news is that inflation comes at or even better than expected, like, golly, game on. Like, the real estate train is leaving the station. And if you are a buyer that has been on the market, that has been on the sidelines and not in the market, you better jump in, because it's going to be a very wild spring. So if we see inflation go down on Tuesday, Fed lowers rate at the next meeting, like, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. My prediction is that if that happens, we are going to see a very, very, very hot spring and summer. Real estate transactions, I think, will go through the roof, because you'll see a lot of sellers into the market and a lot of buyers. So transactions, I think, will go through the roof, and I think prices could soar. So we'll see what happens. Tuesday, March 18th is the date to watch. Some other changes since last month. We talked about prices continue to trend upward. Closings are actually down year over year. Again, I think that could change really soon. Days on the market in Williamson County is 26. Days on the market in Davidson County is 18. Not much change in terms of the speed that homes are selling in this area. Inventory is steadily increasing in all price ranges in Davidson Williamson County. No price range is yet at 6 months, which is what we would say is a neutral market. That's a very healthy amount of inventory. We're not even at a healthy amount of inventory yet in any price range. So this news could change things. The other thing is that rates just hit this week below 7%. They have kind of toggled back and forth between low sevens, high sixes over the last several months. The market, buyers, consumers seem to, react positively when the rate starts with a 6. It is currently at a 6 as of this week, not 6%, but like 6.97. But there's something middle in the market, a big difference between 697 and 7 anything. We see it change. So I talked about sellers, buyers. If you're on, so it could be this unique moment in time where sellers and buyers is a good time to get in the market. I explained why that makes sense for sellers. And for buyers, it could make sense because the same thing. I think that if we get the news Tuesday and Fed lowers rates, I'm not one to say, hey, interest rates are a good reason to get into the market. But if you want to be in the market and you're on the fence, now might be a really good time, March and April, to be a really good time to take advantage before prices tick up. And again, the longer time goes on and we get this news, the closer we are, I believe, to being in that situation where you can lock in a rate before prices go up and then still refi later. Again, I don't think that's a good reason to buy if you're not interested in buying, but if you're in the market, the longer time goes on, the more that makes sense. So in summary, my prediction is, let's wait till Tuesday. If inflation is positive at all, it is game on for spring and summer, and it's going to be nuts. I'm not one to exaggerate the market. I want to help you understand what's going on in a realistic way, be honest about what's going on. I'm excited because the market has just been stagnant. We're half the transactions we've been at the peak. and it's just an unusual market. I think more transactions need to happen for everybody's sake. So I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, I'm Alex Helton, Helton Real Estate Group here in Nashville. We'll see you on the next video, and appreciate you watching.